A lot of people on this morning's webinar, and I'm seeing so many new names as usual as we keep growing around the US and around the world. Of course, this is a US webinar today, although many of these products are available elsewhere in the world as well. But if you are new, you may not know that on our product training, on our training schedule page, which you can access through the homepage of the US website, there are a couple of recorded webinars available for you. There's one on a business and product overview, and there's also one on the profit plan. So you can go and have a look at those afterwards. Also, we have our webinar and training schedule up there, which will be very helpful for you. All right, let's get on to the subject of today's webinar, which is our energetic wellness products, and they are extremely exciting. In fact, let me just have a look here. I want to make sure I have my pendant here. I had it next to me. I usually wear it, but wanted to just have it next to me so that I could hold that for you all to see. There we go. We'll be discussing that later, as well as some other energetic wellness products. But before we do that, I just want to explain a little bit more about this particular section of our product line. You know, a lot of people are not used to energy type products because we can't see and feel energy, and here in the western parts of the world we tend to work very much by what we can see and hear and feel and touch, etc., and that tends to be chemistry based. Well, energy based is a little bit different, and quantum physics has revealed that everything in the universe is about energy, and the energy fields of all living things, that's humans, animals, etc., of the earth itself and of the universe, provide the interface that connects all of us together. In fact, if you think of a molecular structure, whether it's a piece of flesh, whether it's a metal, whether it's air, whether it's water, no matter what it is, it consists of electrons whizzing around a nucleus, consisting of protons and neutrons, etc. But all those are is little particles of energy. So that's what the whole universe is made up of, and it's very, very exciting if you can tap into this energy and use it positively. So that's what we're going to discuss today. Basically, your body has an energetic field, and there on the screen is a picture of, if you use a particular camera, and we're going to go into this later today. Some of these are newer slides for those people who've been around for a long time, so this is some brand new content. Basically, we have an energetic field around us, and this field protects us from harmful energy coming from the environment. And it's interesting, Einstein said that everything is in the field. He was talking about the energy field, and that's where wellness starts. Basically, the National Council on Radiation Protection said that 2 milligauss, which is actually a small amount, is the maximum amount of electromagnetic radiation, or EMF, electromagnetic frequencies, that the human body can handle at any one exposure. But have a look on the screen. They've done measuring. Computers give off up to 5 milligauss, hair dryers up to 25 milligauss, airplanes up to 50 milligauss, appliances up to 100 milligauss. So you're thinking here the probably some of the worst ones are things like microwave TVs, microwave ovens. The very worst one that I'm aware of is actually your HD TV, as well as your cell phone. And blenders up to 220 milligauss. So you can imagine your body is getting bombarded by all these man-made appliances, etc., with more electromagnetic frequencies than your body was made to handle. And energy products help with that. Basically, what happens with all these EMFs bombarding us is they disorganize this energy field, the bioenergy throughout our body, and they disrupt the intercellular communication that goes on between your cells, because that happens with an electromagnetic actually type of a communication system. So we're talking about things like cell phones, fluorescent lighting, pesticides, believe it or not, disrupt this field. Processed foods do, chemical pollution, wireless internet can do that, radio waves, we talked about cell phones, microwave, etc., high tension wires, etc. All this bombards your energy field, and you can see the picture in the middle of the screen there. That's actually taken with this camera that we're going to discuss, that basically translates these energies into a photographic picture. And you can see the way that that person's energy field is broken there. So we'll get into that a bit. Stress and emotions can also disorganize this energy field, and that's really important. Think of when you're stressed or when you have a bad experience, you just feel absolutely terrible inside, and some people are physically very related to their emotions, and they actually get sick when they're not emotionally feeling well. That's all related to this energy field disruption. Now, how does that leave us? Well, some people say that all disease or dis-ease starts in that energy field. So if you can restore that field and protect it, that's a good part of good health, as well, of course, as healthy eating, nutrition, drinking plenty of water, getting enough sleep, exercising regularly, etc. But energy is very much a part of it. So energetic wellness products organize that energy field and help protect you against all these invasive energies from the environment, all these electromagnetic frequencies. And if you're wondering, how can this be possible that these energetic products work? It's very, very simple. If you think of taking a magnet, and I'm sure you did this when you were a kid. I know we did this in class. It was fascinating. We took magnets and put them on paper clips, and of course the magnet would attract that paper clip. But then you would take the paper clip off the magnet, and then you attach the paper clip to another paper clip, and that first paper clip would have been magnetically energized, and it'll pick up the second paper clip even if the magnet's not attached. What happened? That's something called entrainment, and basically it's trapping that energy, and that's how that paper clip picks up the magnetic charge and can pick up another paper clip. Now if you can imagine this on a very, very powerful scale in quantum chambers where substances are bombarded by lasers, anything that will hold that charge can transmit that energy. And typically we're thinking of things like crystals and metals here that will hold that energy. So we have a line called the SE line, standing for scalar energy, and we'll discuss scalar energy in a moment. But those are our energetic wellness products, and you can see them right here on the screen. We have the SE Pendant, which I have worn ever since I saw some demonstrations with this, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. We also have a brand new product, and it's called an SE Wand, and there you have a picture of it. Gosh, it's in my briefcase, and I don't have my briefcase right next to me. I don't want to leave the webinar, so I'll show you a picture of the energy wand in a little bit, and we'll learn more about that. That's a new product that is very, very exciting. These products, it's actually easily demonstratable how they work through three things. One is called muscle testing, and I'll explain a little bit later how you can muscle test someone with and without these particular products. And I'll tell you what, I have done some amazing and fun muscle testing on people. They're blown away. The next thing that you can do is taste testing, particularly with lemons. And the third thing is to look at the science. So we'll go over all three of those this morning. And it's very exciting. Here's how you do a muscle test. It's really simple. You have someone hold their arm up to the side. I know you can't see me on the camera here, but I got my arm, there you go, extended to the side of my body. And then what you do is you just push down on the person's hand. You ask them to resist, so they're holding their arm up and resisting. They hold their arm parallel to the ground, and you basically push on their arm, and you have them resist, and you can feel how strong their muscles are. And then what you do is you expose them to an electromagnetic frequency, or EMF. Like one of my favorites to do is to muscle test the biggest, strongest guy I can in front of a group of people, and of course their arm's so strong that it doesn't go down. They're able to resist very strongly. Then I have them take a cell phone, preferably their own, or else I give them one, and have them hold it on their heart with their other hand, and then they put their arm out, and I muscle test them again, and their arm becomes so weak it just kind of goes down to their side with just not a lot of pressure, and they're always amazed and say, "What have you done? What have you done?" Well, then what you can do is have them put the wand in their pocket, or hold it to their body, or you can take the pendant and put it on them, and then you muscle test them again with the cell phone on their heart again, and they've got strong again when you muscle test them. And that is a very, very powerful demonstration to do. The next thing is the taste test. The taste test is best done with the most tart, sour substance you can find, and that's a lemon. And if you get 2 lemons, slice them up, and you put one, or quarter them, put 1/4 of the lemon, well, get a dish, and if you're going to do the pendant, get 1/4 of the lemon and put it just on the dish, and then the other 1/4 of the lemon, put the pendant on the dish and put the lemon on the pendant and leave it there for maybe 30 seconds to a minute. Then have someone taste the 2 lemons, and they are going to be blown away at the difference in taste. Now, you always want them to taste the unexposed lemon first, because they'll get the full impact of the sourness. Then when they taste the other one, they're going to notice an amazing difference. The lemon will actually be much sweeter, and that's due to the bombardment of energy that we're going to discuss later about these products. With the wand, all you do is the same thing. Take 2 pieces of lemon, put them on different sides of a dish, take the wand and wand it around the 1 piece of lemon, then have them taste the untreated lemon first and then the one that's been exposed to the wand, and they will notice the difference. It's absolutely mind-blowing. So that's the second kind of a test. And then the third thing you can do is show people the science, and that's what we're going to get into right now. So basically, quantum physics has revealed that everything in the universe is energy, and I mentioned this earlier on, that us humans, plants, animals, every living thing, the earth itself, the rest of the universe, all provide that interface that connects us all, links us all together. It's basically electrons, protons, etc., and the electrical and the magnetic charges that run between them. And what comes from that is something called scalar energy. That's where we get the name SE pendant, is scalar energy pendant, and that helps to reinvigorate and strengthen the mind and the body. And let's go into a little bit about what scalar energy is right now. Scalar energy was discovered by James Clerk Maxwell way back in the 19th century, and then it was proven mathematically by Nikola Tesla. Unfortunately, Tesla passed away without documenting very thoroughly, so a lot of the scalar energy science kind of died down for a while. And then it was acknowledged by Nobel Prize winner Albert Einstein, and now it's being studied again very vigorously by the world's top quantum physicists. And just for want of a better way of describing it, scalar energy strengthens and restores balance to the body's bioenergy, because it's that energy field that holds things together, if you will. So just to give you a little bit more about scalar energy, researchers at the Max Planck Institute in Germany have actually found that scalar energy helps to unclump and activate living cells. And scalar energy also helps to increase the cellular energy of basically all the trillions of cells through your body, also your overall energy levels, and it does that by helping in part to nullify the harmful effects of those man-made frequencies, those EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies that we were talking about, that are so prevalent in the modern world. So it helps again to balance and strengthen your body's bioenergy field. And you will notice that with muscle testing, there are also some other really interesting tests that you can do with balancing and strength and flexibility, wearing our pendant and now with our new energy wand as well. So let's talk about the pendant. Here's an example of the testing that it's undergone, and this is done in Korea. You'll find that some of the Asian countries are far, far advanced when it comes to energy, in particular the Koreans and the Japanese. They do a lot with different kinds of energy, light, wavelengths, things like that. And the pendant emits scalar energy as shown in this test. It also emits negative ions, which are very, very invigorating. If you think about if you stand right near a waterfall, or in the shower for that matter, or go outside after a rainfall, or if you're up in the mountains where there's a lot of waterfalls, the air is very fresh and invigorating. It kind of relaxes and energizes at the same time, and that's because of the abundance of the negative ions in the air. And they found that plants actually grow faster and more healthily. They find that animals are calmer and perform tasks better in areas of negative ions. So with our company, we've got a lot of products that we've got our hands on that help to emit negative ions. We have our little hexagon glassware mister that emits negative ions, but that's not what this training session is about. The pendant also emits negative ions. So let's look at that a little bit more. Here's a test. You can buy a device called an ion tester, and you actually hold the device near it, and we found that the SE pendant emits over 2,500 negative ions per cc, or cubic centimeter. That's very, very powerful. Over 2,500 negative ions per cc. So that's one of the reasons that people have such amazing results with it, feel better when they're wearing it. It also emits 92% far infrared waves. Again, it was tested in Korea by the Far Infrared Association, and there's the test of its emissivity. There we go, how much it emits. Now, if you're wondering about far infrared, you may have seen some articles on far infrared saunas and how healthy they are. Basically, if you go, you've injured muscles or something, you may go for rehab, and they'll put something on you that kind of almost looks like a telephone, but it's got a big metallic disc on it. This happened to me when I injured my neck several years, actually a lot of years ago, and they put this thing on and massaged it around me, and it made me feel better. And I said to the nurse, "What is that?" And she said, "Well, this is emitting far infrared heat." So it's not a hot heat, but it's something that's penetrating into the tissues and helps you make you feel better. Well, this emits far infrared waves as well. The Pendant is certified by several bodies. You can see it on the screen there. And now we want to convert over to talking about the SE wand. Very, very similar to the Pendant in nature, but as you can see, it looks like a pen. It even has a clip, so I can wear it in my pocket. I forgot to take it out of my briefcase this morning when I changed shirts. So I have a pocket in this shirt, but no wand this morning, unfortunately. Basically, you point that wand and you wave it and encircle it around the area that you want to energize. And it's composed of 11 different natural minerals and crystals which have been energized with a negative ion, scalar energy, and far infrared energy. As I said, the way that they do this is they basically put these things in a quantum chamber and bombard it with a laser. So just like putting a magnet next to a paperclip, the paperclip will hold the charge. When they bombard this, it's at such an amazingly powerful strength that this will hold the charge indefinitely forever. So once you buy a pendant or a wand, the scalar energy charge in that thing never wears out. You've got that for life as long as you don't lose it or break it somehow. And the wand has been tested to emit over 1,500 negative ions. These energy wands have become incredibly popular. Typically they will sell for anywhere from $150 to $400. Ours is just $125, and most of them test out at emitting between 500 and 1,000 negative ions. Ours is tested out at over 1,500, so tremendously powerful. Now here's some more about some new science, and this is called a gas discharge visualization camera. This is the camera I was talking about a little bit earlier on. Basically, it's been tested on over 6,000 patients and had published medical clinical studies about it. What it reveals, there's over 100 papers on it in peer-reviewed journals from the medical universities and hospitals in Russia, in Germany, here in the United States. So it's fast becoming something recognized. A gas discharged visualization camera. And basically, it captures the energy emitted by a human, an animal, a plant, a substance of any kind really, and it basically converts it into a visual photographic image. Very, very exciting. So all of a sudden you can see this energy that before now we weren't able to see. And you know, us skeptical folks, we tend to have the old saying that seeing is believing. Well, this helps us to see energy, if that makes sense. So here's an example of a GDV image capture. In other words, gas discharge visualization image capture. You can see there on the left is the baseline of somebody's energy field captured by this GDV camera, and that is without having done anything. Have a look what happens when this person gets the scalar energy products. They're wearing a pendant, wearing a wand, and have a look at how that energy throughout their body begins to emanate. Remember what I was talking about earlier, about that energy field, as it were, being a protection against all these electromagnetic frequencies, these man-made harmful frequencies that put the body out of balance. Can you see there on the right how much more imbalance it is now? Isn't that exciting? So basically, here's some more. You may have heard of something called energy chakras or energy centers. And there are energy centers here and here and here and around your heart. That's the green dot that you can see on the screen. etc., etc. And
Father's database has been updated.
Measured, and have a look there before and after the SE products, how they center back your energy on your body. And that's a very important part of life. You know, we're chemical creatures, biological creatures, we're also energy creatures. So it's important to have that energy and harmony and balance. Now, here's some more new science. We already talked about this, and this is the ion meter. We showed what happened with the pendant earlier on, about 2,500 negative ions emitted from that. Well, with this wand, we tested it, and actually with the casing on, it tested at 1,859 negative ions. Without the casing on, we actually broke one open and tested the minerals, etc. inside. It was over 17,000 negative ions. So really, really powerful. And that's per centimeter cubed or per cc. So here's the competition. I talked about the better ones being emitting between 500 and 1,000. These are very expensive ones. They can be as much as $400. Well, here's a competitor that we tested, and the negative ions emitted by this was 30. Have a look at the difference with ours, 1,859. So as I said, you take this and you just point the wand at the area that you want to deal with, or the food or the plant or whatever, and just move it around in a circle. I've heard people say that you should go clockwise. I don't know how true that is, but this thing emits this amazing scalar energy, negative ions, and far infrared waves as well. So you can use it for general wellness and a lot of other benefits. You can energize yourself, as we talked about. You can energize everything that you eat and drink. Before you eat something, wander around it. Before you drink water, wander around it. You can also energize all your personal care products and other things like that. It's an amazing tool, this energy wand. Now let's switch gears completely and go away from scalar energy to magnetism. And I'd like to talk a little bit about our magnetic necklace here. You know, magnetic fields surround the Earth, and they say that the Earth's magnetic field actually rotates in the frequency range of about 8 to 14 cycles per second. What's interesting is if you're doing yoga, meditation, that kind of thing, any alpha rhythms produced by the human body in a relaxed or focused state are said to be in that same frequency range. So I don't know what that means, but is that an interesting coincidence or what? Now, a lot of things can disrupt the Earth's natural magnetic field. We talked about EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, and notice that word, electromagnetic, a combination of electricity and magnetism. So we're talking again about things like power lines, electrical wiring, motor vehicles, electrical appliances. All those kind of things can disrupt this natural geomagnetic field of the Earth. And scientists are reporting that the Earth's geomagnetic field is declining every decade. What's interesting is if you have a look at birds trying to navigate, they use that as part of their navigation system, and sometimes they have problems. So, you know, I've read a lot about the Earth cycling, and sometimes going up and sometimes going down. But I was reading an article on Wikipedia actually just yesterday on this subject, and they said that they're concerned, you know, that the geomagnetic field is declining quite radically. And, you know, if you're spending most of your time living or working in steel-reinforced concrete houses, high-rise buildings, things like that, that also helps to shield the body from that much-needed magnetic field. Remember, that was put there on this Earth for a reason. It has a use in coordinating with our body. What they found is that the decrease in disruption or lack of exposure to that natural magnetic field has actually been linked to a number of different ailments and health problems. And there's a lot of interesting science going on. You know, it's really immature science. As I said, it's happened much more in Eastern countries than in Western countries, where the accepted philosophy tends to be controlled by the medical industry, as far as more of a kind of a chemistry culture in dealing with things with pharmaceuticals rather than looking at the energy side. But anyway, this whole thing has been named magnetic field deficiency syndrome, and it's one of these things that people just don't know why they're not feeling good. You know, it's interesting, our Ecomax line of household cleaning products is free of harsh chemicals, and it's only made of biodegradable plant-based substances. People have said that may have something to do with this. The magnetic field may, the electromagnetic frequencies. Anyway, these are all great alternatives to to help you live in a way that helps you feel better and helps your physical health to be optimized. So here's the magnetic necklace. 5 different neodymium magnets that put out more than 5,000 Gauss. Gauss is the measure of magnetism. Plus, it also emits far infrared waves and negative ions. You can see that these things, that these energy wellness products, all do very, very similar things. The magnet is purely magnetic, whereas the other two we went over are scalar energy, more of a combination between magnetism and electrical. And the magnetic necklace, just one thing. When you buy one and you put it around your neck, it has a magnetic clasp as well. When you feel inside that rubber, you're going to feel gaps. Don't be alarmed. Your magnet hasn't broken. Remember, these are 5 different magnets positioned at different times. So there are gaps or different lengths along that rubber tubing. So there are gaps between them. So that's the electromagnetic necklace for you. What do you do with it? Wear it on any part of your body that doesn't feel comfortable, whether it's your joints, back, etc. I've seen people actually tape this magnetic necklace to their back where they've had an uncomfortable area, just to help relieve day-to-day stiffness or soreness, etc. And it's amazing what magnetism can do. And a little caution about this magnetic necklace: be sure to keep it away from items that are sensitive to magnetic fields. Now, you don't have to worry about the scalar energy products, the wand or the pendant. I actually leave my pendant. I've left it on my mobile phone. I've left it on my computer. It hasn't affected it at all. But do not do that with this incredibly powerful magnetic necklace that puts out 5,000 Gauss, or you're going to end up wiping out the memory on your mobile phone, anything with computer chips, etc., credit cards, hotel door keys that are magnetized. Don't put it on there. Also, you don't want to be recommending this to pregnant mothers or to people who are wearing pacemakers. And the reason that we don't recommend these kind of things to pregnant mothers, just so you know, same thing with nutritional supplements, same thing with exercise programs, is there hasn't been any testing on what these things will do with an unborn baby. So, we don't know. Will there be any negative effect? Maybe, maybe not, but that's not the kind of thing you want to mess with. So that's why there's a caution for pregnant mothers with that. But certainly do not wear that thing if you've got a pacemaker, or it's going to interfere, because that's magnetically run as well. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope that you've enjoyed this little training about our energy wellness products, and I highly, highly, highly recommend that you go out and get yourself an SE pendant and an SE wand. Go and wand that thing around any area that's particularly uncomfortable on your body, and you'll be amazed. I want to end off by sharing one little thing that happened to me. I've been wearing my SE pendant, and as soon as the wand came out, I got an SE wand as well, and I carry that in my pocket whenever I've got a pocket on my shirt. And I took the pendant off because I was traveling with my wife and daughter, and woke up, I was doing yard work, I completely forgot to put my pendant on, and I turned over in bed and popped the back of my, I guess with my rib joints, the back of my spine. And it was really, really uncomfortable. And I don't know whether this had a bearing or not, but last time that happened, I had to go for 2 chiropractic treatments, and it took me about 2 weeks to start feeling normal again. Well, what I did was I took my pendant, and instead of having the pendant hanging here on the front of my neck, I turned it around like this and hung it on my back near the sore spot. I wore it like that all day, went to bed, and the next day I woke up and I didn't have that issue anymore. Now, was it something to do with the pendant? Was it coincident? I don't know. But these products are absolutely amazing, and I really recommend that you use them. As far as the wand's concerned, wand it a few times in a circle, pointed at whatever object you want to. I've heard people say that more is better. I've spoken with the experts who deal with this wand, and they say just a few times encircling something is good enough to impart the scalar energy and other benefits. But take these products, play with them, demonstrate them, you'll be absolutely amazed. Now, if you would like a recording of this webinar, assuming that the recording equipment has worked correctly, or if you'd like the slides, please feel free after this webinar is over and disconnected to go to the training schedule page and just click on the webinar link again and email the host and ask for the recording and or the slides, and we'd be happy to send that to you in the next few days. So thank you everyone, and have a great Ecosway weekend. Goodbye.